Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2016 ITTF World Tour. This is the Swedish Open, a major series on the World Tour. I'm your commentator, Adam Bobrow, coming to you live from Sweden. Coming to you live from Stockholm, Sweden. We are getting into the men's doubles final. Right there, Antoine HACHARD and Stephane from France are joining on court. The already present Hugo CALDERANO and Gustavo TSUBOI. Big tournament on both sides. Tell you more about that in a bit.
And Bulgaria.
So our head umpire, Ben Foot. Our umpire, that is, assistant umpire, Svetozar Hristov from Bulgaria. He's actually a former tournament director himself. Ran the Bulgaria Open in Panagurishta. So Hugo CALDERANO last week played the final against Kenta Matsudaira in Austria. Hugo CALDERANO, one of the bright hopes for the future. Top player in North America. And not only that, well, I guess South America, North America, all the Americas. So he is from South America, but he's still better than any male player representing North America or South America. Stephane on the far right, a very impressive defensive player, creative, fishes, loops on both sides, chops, all sorts of touch shots and funny stuff. You never know what you're gonna get. Yesterday I saw him crush a barrier, not intentionally. There's a flag you don't get to see every day. Wish I had more to tell you about it. Try to find that out for you. Gustavo TSUBOI, left-handed attacker. He's had a strong, I'd say, about a year and a half ago, a year from that time, up until the last 6 months or so, has had some really good victories and good matches. Nothing too crazy though. Hugo CALDERANO, on the other hand, came very close to beating Kenta Matsudaira in the final. A little bit of lack of focus after a service fault. And since then, being up 10-7 in game 6. An impressive play from Kenta Matsudaira. 5 straight points. Anyway, there was a comeback, rather, from down 7-10. Antoine HACHARD caught my attention playing at the China Open against Ma Long, 2-2 in a close 5th game. Not too many foreigners offer a difficult match for Ma Long. Yuya Oshima, who you saw earlier today and you'll get to see again later today. In the men's singles final, playing against Matthias Carlsen. That should be a very exciting match. A Swedish player hasn't won the Swedish Open in 20 years, since 1996, when it was Jorgen Persson, or Persson as they say here. Coach Mounier going to be coaching the Brazilian boys. Personal coach for Hugo CALDERANO. So Hugo CALDERANO, 20 years old. Many powerful shots from both sides. He's got probably, I think, him and Jakub Bias, two of the most powerful backhands in the game right now for players that aren't, well, let's say from China. Maybe Dmitry Ovtcharov is up there with him, of course, but he's been at the top of the game for some time. So at 20 years old, CALDERANO, world rank number 31, the 12th seed in this tournament. His teammate Gustavo TSUBOI, 31 years old. He's been one of the strongest players in Brazil for some time. 33rd seed, world rank number 79. But the French players, right-handed Antoine HACHARD, 46th seed in the tournament. 22 years old, world rank number 105. But I believe he'll be climbing up in the world rankings. Give him a little bit of time, he's on his way. A lot of power from both sides, great feeling from off the table. Counter loops, you'll have a chance to see that out here. Stephane, 23 years old, world rank number 64, and the 29th seed in this tournament. But his world ranking is going to climb just as well after playing in the singles, pulling off some big upsets, beating Thiago Apollonia, among others. It was a very exciting match, actually, not on one of the TV tables. But one of the privileges of being live at this event is that you can look at the matches ahead of time, look at the schedule and say, ooh, that's going to be a really good one. I want to see that up close and personal. I made sure to get a good seat for that match, Stephane versus Thiago Apollonia, and it did not disappoint. The quality of points were just incredible. All right, this is the men's doubles final, best of 5, TSUBOI to serve. Typical of the points so far, the opening backhand of Calderano immediately backs the French players off the table, where they're quite comfortable. Stephane Wesch could definitely build a home about 10 to 15 feet behind the table, sleep there, win some matches in the meantime. Spinny backhand from Wesch. He's strong close to the table. And I think to continue to climb in the world rankings, that's one thing that he's going to have to bring back. He can fish with some of the best players in the world, but the best players in the world he's going to have to attack. Many French players have outstanding feeling and touch, a little bit more creativity in their practice and their game. But as Simone Gauzy can tell you, developing a backhand, learning how to establish yourself over the table, is going to be instrumental to climbing the world rankings.
1-4.
Again, this is the French players staying closer to the table, putting the pressure on the Brazilians. Well placed, a little bit of trickery from Wesch. Misleads and leave TSUBOI hung out on the backhand corner. Heavy underspin serve, not enough lift from TSUBOI. Back edge of the table, the Brazilians will get the point. Beautiful Chiquita right there from TSUBOI to take the point. There's the power. That's the Gustavo TSUBOI that I've seen take down some of the top players in the world for the last year and a half. His timing is quite quick, and this is, you know, from a player of smaller stature who's a little on the shorter side, to say the least. Taking the ball earlier is going to be very important, taking advantage of the angles, not creating more ground for yourself to cover. Difficult shot. Calderano, a lot of spin to take that ball late near the ground. Watch how low HACHARD gets on this. Touches ground, gets out of the way. Side swiping inside out attack from Calderano. Too much side spin. TSUBOI using his angle wisely and widely, if you will. This one more time. High lob, little bit inside the table. Looks like it catches the edge. Second towel break of the game. The Brazilian boys still in it, just down by 2. So both teams with the right-handed, left-handed combination, just like the women's doubles final. This tends to make the strongest team. Again, forehand after forehand, a more common down the middle of the table. Much easier to get several forehand attacks into play.
6, 7.
Power from Calderano earns the chew from both in sync. They're tied up at 7 points each. I've seen some strong play from both Gustavo TSUBOI and Hugo Calderano working together against German pairs years ago. Not too many years, of course. Calderano only 20 years old. Short side of the table looked good, but again, it's a little shorter, smaller margin for error. This is Calderano's shot. Comes down on the table. When he just tucks back, if he's near the table, it's going to be very difficult to get that backhand ball back into play. Although Stephane is a bit of a wall, from keeping the racket head up to not being afraid to back off the table, still bring it down with heavy topspin, can be quite effective. Now stepping into the lead, the Brazilian boys are back.
Please.
Very spinny opening shot from Calderano, backs Wesh off the table. 2 game points for TSUBOI and Calderano. I personally am a big fan of South American players, having watched the Olympic qualifications and other tournaments online. The fire, the passion, to the handshakes afterwards, they're excellent to watch.
9-10.
And Calderano is leading that movement. Playing internationally, being the strongest player, but still Puerto Rico here at this tournament, Chile. Many strong representatives from South America coming up in the world. The 2 game points saved by the French pair. I guess Latin America would include everybody. Puerto Rico, obviously outside of South America, but a similar vibe, similar fire from the players. Big point there for TSUBOI, no question about what that means to him. It's a difficult shot at the very baseline of the table and kicking away. There are no other matches in play right now, so the loudest scream you could imagine, as long as it's to finish the point or after the point is over, will be of no distraction to anyone competing, at least not during play. Wow, that shot side-swiping a little bit off the edge there. You can see the apology for the contact. That is a crazy difficult ball for Calderano to make, let alone for someone to get back. So game 1 to the Brazilian pair, Calderano and TSUBOI. We'll be back for game 2 right after this.
Möter de toppsidan Morisono och Oshima från Japan. Även där 11-9 i skilje. Och sedan serier raka mot Franziska och Groth. Tyskland, Danmark i semi.
Time.
And as time is called, the players come back to the table. It's the Brazilian boys, Hugo Calderano and Gustavo TSUBOI, leading 1-0 by the narrowest of margins, 2 points over Antoine HACHARD and Stephane. Calderano and TSUBOI started off beating Cho In-rae and Kim Dong-hyun of Korea 3-2, 11-9 in the 5th and deciding game. I'll tell you about the next round in a moment. Following that, They beat Yuya Oshima and Masataka Morizono, which is a very impressive win. Finalists at the World Championships 2015.
Love 2.
Oshima and Morizono, probably one of the most dangerous pairings. In my opinion, probably the most dangerous pairing. Another 3-2 victory, 11-9 in the decider. And then following that be Jonathan Groth and Patrick Franziska, European champions who also took the title last week in Austria with the dab.
1-2.
And as Calderano mentioned, Patrick Franziska and Jonathan Groth won last week against a young Chinese pair in the final, 3-0, since Calderano and TSUBOI beat Franziska and Groth 3-0. They actually beat the Chinese pair 9-0. Don't think the logic holds perfectly, but it's a lot of fun. And that backhand, one of the many weapons that Calderano has from anywhere on the court. As soon as HACHARD steps around, leaves open the forehand side, that's where Calderano goes. A little bit mistimed on the soft flip. TSUBOI's backhand opening goes short into the net. Soft touch once again, left right at the back of the table. It's a tricky balance. TSUBOI wants to come in for that shot, but he doesn't want to get in the way of the next ball. This is one of the most tricky situations in doubles, setting yourself up for the best shot possible, but making sure that you're also out of the way in time to give your teammate their best shot possible, to not become an obstacle, to have to pull a Zhang Jike and drop to the ground.
3-4.
Speaking of Zhang Jike and some of the world's best, coming up in Qatar, the World Tour Grand Finals, December 8th. Make sure you're watching. Should be an exciting, exciting tournament. Star Wars will be happening on the first day. Look at that inside-out forehand from Calderano. That is nasty. Bending and breaking. It's going to be a very difficult ball for HACHARD to bring back.
Please.
Players warned not to stall.
Let. 4-all.
Got it. Go.
5-4.
Deep on the table, well-placed loop from TSUBOI. Now with that shorter stroke and the left-handed stroke, TSUBOI is quite versatile. Sometimes he hits inside-out balls, sometimes he hooks the ball wide. With the wingspan of Stephane, TSUBOI's probably going to try and keep him pinned in the backhand or hit a ball that can't be returned down the line. Look at this, right into the body, that's some power. Talk about confidence and timing. This is the future of Hugo Calderano, the future of table tennis out here. As much as the French pair loves being away from the table, you can sense that they're trying to stay in, trying to hold their ground, establish themselves early in the point, early in the rally.
Got it. Go.
6-7.
And HACHARD does just that, from just a step behind the table with the backhand.
Got it. Go.
7-0.
And Calderano has the time to hit that ball. He's going to make that and hit a winner a good percentage of the time. I think the change of pace left a little bit soft in front of him, slowed down his shot.
Hey.
broke the rhythm a little bit. Heavy underspin. Calderano called it. He called it Arano. Going to the ground, Wesh can't get it up and over. It's the Chiquita from TSUBOI to win the point. Go around the side of the ball a little bit. TSUBOI keeping Wesh moving.
Eight, 9.
And the full swing right there from Calderano. The ball just a little bit too wide and close to TSUBOI. Creates a little traffic jam. Just long. The 2-point lead has gone away, and now it's tied up. The third towel break of the game. This game will be decided by 2 points only.
Peace.
Big swing once again from Calderano, but he doesn't connect. As strong as his backhand is, quite frankly, his forehand is very strong as well. He's just missing a few shots. The quality of shots coming in. Again, the versatility and change of pace, the touch shots and the creativity from the French pair. Every shot's a little bit different. Makes it difficult for Calderano. Big ball from TSUBOI to save the point. From the middle of the table, blocks it back deep.
Peace play.
That was an absolute last resort right there. TSUBOI just covering the elbow, the forehand side of the elbow with the racket head straight up to keep the ball in play. Again, high pace of play, keep the racket head up. Just won't have time to get it up otherwise. Looked like Wesh was trying to put a little inside out spin on that. Missed the contact as he ran around. Game point back to the Brazilian boys. Big backhand does it, a fiery TSUBOI. Gustavo TSUBOI at the end of the game really just lights it up. And now it's a 2-0 lead for the Brazilian boys, and we'll be back for game 3 to see if they pull off a shutout or if the French have anything to say about it and start their comeback. Game 3 right after this short break.
Istället har de slagit flera riktigt bra par. De började i första omgången mot Chen och Chang från Taiwan, där de vann 3-1. Andra omgången, kvarten, så slog de Chao och Zhou med 3-1. Och sen en riktig holmgång mot toppsidade Kokiriva och Yoshimura i semin, där de vann med 11-8 i avgörande set.
Time.
The players are back for game 3.
TSUBOI to serve.
You can see it weighing down Antoine HACHARD. Stephane Wesh chasing the Brazilian boys right now. Gustavo TSUBOI to start off with the serve, leading 2-0. Look at the angle.
1 love.
The specialty. TSUBOI a threat from even off the table. Not too long ago, TSUBOI and CALDERANO were very close in world rankings. There's been a little dip in TSUBOI and a bit of a rise in the game of CALDERANO, but right now they are both contributing out here. Will not come down. The lobs get higher and higher, going off the screen, out of frame. And again, at Gustavo TSUBOI's height, he really has to time it well. Takes it while it's still on the rise, just before its peak. I think the opening attack from CALDERANO was a pretty unusual, cool kick with the foot.
Love 3.
Timeout called on the French side. The 3-point differential. Something about that magical 3. Feel like it's a distance that feels like someone's starting to break away, but it's also quite quick to come back from. You can be hopeful while you're down. Patrick Sheila was here for the tournament earlier on. I think must have had to go back to France to do some work with the national team. So it's Wesh and HACHARD in their corner by themselves. Coach Mounier, Jean-René Mounier, from France originally. But he's been working with Hugo CALDERANO, been on his side for some time. Hugo CALDERANO, bronze medalist at the Youth Olympic Games in 2014. Losing to Yuto Muramatsu, who lost to Fan Zhendong in the final. So Fan Zhendong gold, Muramatsu silver, CALDERANO bronze.
Love 3.
So we'll see what reorganizing and tactical changes are made out here by HACHARD and Wesh. Down 0-3 with the second serve. Not an answer for that. CALDERANO's quick backhand, a little bit more punchy than whip-like, but still enough pressure. The placement's just right. Even still, he tucks back, snaps forward and over the ball. Heavy topspin from Wesh. First point for the French pair. Heavy topspin once again. This time, TSUBOI trying to bend it back. He's got to figure out a way. Sometimes creativity is the answer. It's good that he's searching for responses, and at the first towel break of the game, 2 out of the last 3 points since the timeout have gone to the French pair. CALDERANO just a little bit out of position on that shot. HACHARD plays it down the line. It's a long reach for CALDERANO for the miss hit. As far as being light on your feet, this comes with physical conditioning, lots of experience and speed. I only think about that because in the replay when CALDERANO was set up, it was clear that he was a bit more in the backhand corner, already starting to prepare, starting using his legs for his stroke before he had to lunge to the side. That ball's not coming back.
5-4.
Who would have guessed that Gustavo TSUBOI would be the giant to crush all the lobs and finish the points? Lobbing to a left-handed player is quite different than lobbing to a right-handed player. The angle, the opportunities, the ways to play it out to the forehand demonstrated perfectly right there by TSUBOI. And this time the forehand comes down. Calderano back in the swing of things. Power, but the apology for a little bit of help, a little bit of fortune. Serve comes a little too long. As wide as can be, and you can't see it on camera. Stephane Wesch lying down next to the microphone in the umpire's chair. See if we can see the hole. Love to see what happens here from this angle. Diving shot, attempting to stay inside the barrier, not put his foot through it while not hitting the umpire chair or his head on the microphone. With the amount of time Hugo Calderano took on that, very wise, and it paid off to play such a wide angle. Sometimes trying to hit lobs as hard as you can, you'll end up missing the shot trying to overdo it. Whoa! Across the body, around the net, Calderano, the shot of the match. Look at this, on the run, no problem. Block back, hooking wide, boom. Gotta love that one. Oh, Wesch, no problem, head down. Fist in the air. The high five. Wesch is quite a character. This is an outstanding shot. The whole rally's good. Just at reach, the racket comes behind the head. You have to imagine there was a little bit of sarcastic humor. A man exercising his right after an outstanding shot, but still down by quite a bit. 0-2, and it was 5-9. I guess it was 4-9 when he made that shot. Comeback is still possible, but if the score is just a little bit skewed in favor of the Brazilian boys, this is where you would see an exhibition point.
Uppe på läktaren och domaren ska nyttja sin timeout. Det här i läget 2-0 och 9-6 från brasilianerna sin timeout.
Fans discussing in anticipation what's going to happen when their Swedish player, Matthias Carlsson, comes out later today. The seats will fill up quickly. It'll be the first time in 18 years since a Swedish player has made it to the men's singles final at this tournament. Jörgen Persson, 1998. And if Matthias Carlsson can win it, it will be the first time in 20 years since Persson did it in 1996. Talk about that more later. Back from the timeout, Stephane Wesch and Antoine HACHARD.
9-7.
Calderano and TSUBOI called the timeout. But they still haven't stopped the comeback, not yet. Oh, a break off the edge after a beautiful touch shot from Stephane Wesch. A chop block on the backhand side. TSUBOI leaving it right on the line, but the edge of it. Now 3 championship points for Gustavo TSUBOI and Hugo Calderano of Brazil. And there it is, Brazil takes it. Hugo Calderano and Gustavo TSUBOI smiles all around. And South American Brazilian players, Gustavo TSUBOI and Hugo Calderano, are the men's doubles champions for Swedish Open 2016. A solid performance, not dropping a game to Antoine HACHARD and Stephane. What a proud moment for these two players from Brazil. You'll see them on the top of the podium later, collecting their prize money, trophies, flowers, whatever else they have to collect. And a happy Coach Mounier. Stick around, we've got the women's singles final coming right up right after this.